Ananya Panday is at the NCB office. These are pictures of how the NCB earlier got to her house, and I believe in this car that we're talking about, Ananya Panday was there, and then she landed up after NCB knocked at her doorstep as well, and she is currently being questioned by the Narcotics Control Bureau. Now, what this means is that essentially that the probe the NCB is holding on this drugs on cruise ship has now expanded to other Bollywood celebs and stars as well. You see Ananya sitting there, and media obviously trying to capture every minute and every development of that story. But the big update as of this morning is that NCB team members landed at the house of Ananya Panday first, then she is been called in for questioning to NCB, and also they were at Mannat, that is Shah Rukh Khan's residence, earlier in the day. Let's go across to our reporters now. Saurabh Gupta, Rohit Khilani joining us both. Saurabh, first to you, what exactly is NCB saying is the reason for them questioning Ananya Panday? We are told they have taken her phone and laptop under custody as well, seized it to get some evidence. All right, we'll just try and fix that audio with Saurabh in just a bit. But Rohit, if I could come to you, what details do we have? You raised that very important question on who next. That's clearly is the thing on everybody's mind in B-Town.
Right, Sonal, that's the question that's worrying everybody. This seems to be now just another day in Bollywood when someone is raided by the NCB. This is what NCP's Nawab Malik has been saying, that they're going after the film industry. Day by day that becomes evident, because in such a big city, such a big country, is this the only role that the NCB has to go after the film industry, and that too this time the youngsters of the film industry. What have they found on, what have they found that they had to call, they had to go to Ananya's house, take her phone. Now, this is a net that keeps expanding every time they get access to a film actor's phone. They got Aryan's phone, they got something more on that, they got phones of their friends. Now they have access to Ananya Panday's phone. This may lead to widening the net even more. So, even if, and also the problem is that the chats are misconstrued. Like when someone is saying something in a millennial lingo, that could be misunderstood by someone who didn't understand what they were trying to say. So this is extremely worrying, damaging the reputation of the film industry for sure, also damaging the reputation of these young stars like Ananya Panday.
Right. All right. Rohit, stay on with us. We seem to have fixed that line with you, Saurabh. Go ahead with the details you had.
Well, what I was explaining is this entire case seems to have been based on WhatsApp chats, and WhatsApp chats that seem to have emerged from the phone of Aryan Khan, which is based on which he was arrested, which is based on which the Sessions Court or the Special NDPS Court has denied him bail, and based on which, of course, he continues to be in, of course, prison. Now, of course, it seems we have someone arriving at the NCB office. It seems like, it seems like it's Ananya Panday who's arrived at the NCB office, and it seems Chanki Panday is also here. So Ananya Panday arriving here at the NCB office. She was, of course, summoned, like I said, in connection with those WhatsApp chats. Of course, you can see her getting out of that car now, and of course going into that NCB office dressed in that white t-shirt. That's of course Ananya Panday going into, along accompanied by her father Chanki Panday in the blue t-shirt. And of course they've been summoned in connection with WhatsApp chats that actually was like I was mentioning about. Now, of course, this is the whole point that many have been making, that it's based on WhatsApp chats that this entire case is being fought. So Ananya Panday and Chanki Panday have reached the Narcotics Control Bureau office, and they will, of course, the office is on the 3rd floor, so they should be there in any moment now. And this is, of course, in connection with the summons that was issued to her. She was asked to come here She's arrived at the office for questioning. But this, of course, is something that many have brought to light. You know, the obsession of the Narcotics Control Bureau with the film industry and, you know, choosing to target, at best, if proved, their case, who are end users. And, of course, the mandate of the Narcotics Control Bureau is to go after big drug cartels. And while there are major seizures across the country, the Narcotics Control Bureau has very little to do with it. In fact, if you talk about the seizures at, say, for example, the Mundra port, in that, of course, it was the DRI, which is another agency. But actually, this is the job of the Narcotics Control Bureau to go after drug cartels. But at this point, it seems the focus of the Narcotics Control Bureau is film industry. And many have been questioning this agency's moves because of that the obsession with the film industry, the obsession with the film stars, you know, and this started, of course, in the backdrop of, you know, the Sushant Singh Rajput case. But that obsession, what many call with the film industry, has continued with the, you know, with the Narcotics Control Bureau. And in fact, Sameer Wankhede, the zonal director, seems to be someone who's gone after the film industry in a sense, and of course saying that, well, you know, the law does not protect consumers. But in any anti-drugs law, the guiding philosophy is that, you know, rehab. And because at the end of the day, those who are consuming, if at all a case is made out of consumption, then of course they are victims. But in this case, of course, relying solely on WhatsApp chats, you know, the agency seems to have also now summoned another film star who's arrived, Ananya Panday, arriving at the Narcotics Control Bureau office, accompanied by her dad, actor Chunky Pandey, who's also here.